again, my lovely Floss Tube friends. Wow, it's all happening this weekend, isn't it? I've decided that I'm going to try and whiz through as many of these tags as possible, and I do apologise about the light, but because it's so early in the morning, the sun's beaming through the glass in the ceiling, and I've got no way to stop that, so you just have to deal with the glare in my face. So I do apologise. I've done a little bit of research since my video that I uploaded first thing this morning, which I actually did last night. And I've always thought that I've been stitching for around 11 months, but it's actually come to light that I've not been stitching that long at all. So yay to me. Okay, so wanted to quickly try and whiz through these tags as fast as I could, just so that I know that I'm up to date with the ones that I'm aware of. So without further ado, let's have a tag-along, shall we? So the next one I wanted to do was the Curiosity tag by Donna Murray. So number one, how long have you been stitching for? Well, I've just double checked that because I wasn't 100% sure. And in actual fact, I've only been stitching 8 months. Would you believe it? I thought it was much longer than that, but it's not, it's 8 months. So I first started stitching on the 4th of December, 2014. So yeah, it's not 11 months, it's only 8 months. So, I wasn't aware of that. So, in actual fact, that's made me quite proud of the things that I have achieved now, to think that I'm doing what I do and I've only actually been stitching 8 months. So, yeah. Do you prefer framing your projects or making a cushion or a wall hanging? I've not been adventurous enough to actually turn a project into anything other than have it framed, and even then I send it to the framers to let them do it. I'm not brave enough. I would like to try and make maybe some cushions or wall hangings or other objects, but I think right now I'm more want to focus on the actual cross stitch and getting more projects fully finished. I think I need more finishes before I worry about how I'm gonna, what I'm gonna turn them into. I've got some ideas of things that I'd like to do. Let me see if I can move this camera a little bit so that the glare's not so bad. There you go. Have a view of the kitchen. So yeah, at the minute only wall frames. So number 3, who is your favourite designer? Like I said in my previous video, Cat's Crazy Creations tag. My favourite designer, or brand if you like, is Heaven and Earth Design, but I'm closely following behind with Mirabilia. But I need to branch out. I need to be doing some more stuff. I need more variation. I need to try a little bit of everything so that, I get a feel for some of these designers and charts. But like I said, I've only actually been stitching now 8 months, not 11 months. So 8 months, I'm still frightened of French knots. I'm still frightened of backstitch. I'm still frightened of specialised stitches. But they're coming, don't you worry. What's one thing I do know is I need to step out the comfort zone. I can't stay there forever, but I do like to be there. What is the most you have ever paid for a design project, fabric or floss? Well, obviously, Heaven and Earth Design, when you kit those up, they're expensive. They're not cheap. Mirabilia's is about the same, so they're not cheap. I would say the most I've spent is probably about £120-ish, but that's the whole lot. That's fabric, floss. I mean, floss over here in the UK that I've been purchasing is actually costing me 90p a skein. And then obviously shipping, and I've just found out that there's some places in the UK where I can get them for 40p a skein, so it's nearly half price. So I need to be sort of searching around a little bit more. Number 5, how many hours have you stitched on a project in one day? I have to be honest, whilst I was unwell and completely comatose by medication, I did actually stitch for around 10 hours in one day. And I did that quite frequently because I was in my own little zone. So yeah, quite a lot. Not anymore. Now I do try sort of on the weekends to get like a straight 5 hours, which is great, but it's quite far and few between these days. Have you got any FFOs where you have a major mistake but you wouldn't notice? Don't think I've got major mistakes, and I haven't really got any FFOs that have got amazing mistakes because I haven't really got that many. So no is the answer to that at the moment. I'm sure that will change. What is your favourite project? The one that you are most proud of? Well, that has to be my Faces project, doesn't it? Without a shadow of a doubt. I've done her in 4 months on 18 count full coverage, and I adore her, and I want more like her. So if you lost your stitchy bug, what would make it come back? I don't think I could lose it just yet. I've only been stitching 8 months. I don't think you could lose it after 8 months unless I have an absolute catastrophe. So I have no idea. I think if I was to lose it, it would just need to be watch FlossTube, watch Instagram, and just, yeah, I don't know, start a new project, start something that wows me. Number 8, do you have to make sure you finish your projects, or can you just leave them for a couple of months and do new ones? No, I'm a bit of a finisher. I don't like to have things sitting around not being finished. In fact, I think I'm even struggling at the moment because I've got one head on a nurse design on the go, my twisted band sampler on the go, and my mirabilia on the go all at the same time. Even that, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of them, I must finish, I must switch them around. So yeah, I'm not a serial starter. I can't just seem to put them down because I feel like I'm neglecting them. And number 10, most hated types of stitch. I have no idea. I haven't stitched enough to know what the most hated one is. No, don't know. Backstitch, I'm sort of getting the grasp of that now, so I don't really hate that anymore. I don't know, I've not really done a lot of it. A lot of the projects that I've done haven't really had much backstitch. So yeah, don't know the answer to that one. I don't know. I've never done anything with the French knot in it. I'm very selective about what I do, so that way I don't sort of... I think if anything's going to make me lose my stitchy bug, it's probably going to be if I try and push myself too hard and try and do things that, you know, I'm not quite ready for. So as far as most hated type of stitch, I'm quite mindful that if I try and push myself too hard and do things that are too outside my comfort zone, it could actually put me off forever because I could become so disheartened. So no, at the minute I don't have a most hated stitch because I've not really got any experience at them. So that's the curiosity tag by Donna Murray. Sorry, Donna. And I'll put the link in the bit below for you so that you can see that. Coffee Stitchers tag. I was going to struggle with this one because his questions are really difficult. But I'm going to try and give it a go as best I can, and maybe I can try and find a picture of the sort of thing that I mean rather than actually explaining it all. So, Coffee Stitchers tag. Number 1, what is one designer you didn't initially have any interest in until you actually stitched one? Well, I'm doing that currently at the minute. I never had any intentions to do a mirabilia. When I saw the pictures, I can't really say that I thought they were anything special. From pictures, and now I'm actually stitching a mirabilia, and currently going really, really well and absolutely thoroughly enjoying it, which I really didn't expect to happen at all. I had absolutely no idea that was going to happen. So I would say mirabilia for me, but then I've not really done that much. So what is one designer that you cannot get in the groove on? There's lots that I've looked at that I've thought, I don't really think that would be me. And I know this is probably going to make me very unpopular, and I don't mean it to be, but it would probably be things like Cloud Factory. I mean, I love everybody else's. I think they look really cute, but I just don't think it would be something that I would want to stitch or would stitch. I'm not really into cartoon characters and bits and pieces, so... yeah, no, I don't think that would be something that would be me. I don't know. It could all change. You could convert me. You converted me with everything else so far. So let's see how you do, you lot. I know there's a lot of you, including Coffee Stitcher, that likes things like Cloud Factory, the Wizard of Oz stitches and bits and pieces. They've just not been something that I've really sort of been wowed by as yet. But then I said that about the mirabilias, and look at me now. I'm actually stitching one, so yeah, I don't really think anything I say is actually going to convince you otherwise, is it? Because I just don't know. What is one chart you would love to see made, and who would you like to see design it? Right, well, I don't really know much about designers, so I can't really say anything about that. But charts that I would like to see, that I haven't found as yet, are the artwork from League of Legends. That's all going to sound a bit strange. Now you'd think, oh, anime. They're not anime. Let me give you an example. This is just a bit of artwork that I found that is part of League of Legends. I'm going to try and show you it without showing you any at the bottom because I don't know whether it's an issue. So basically, it would be things like this. Now, I love the warrior women on League of Legends. I know, it's a video game. I don't play League of Legends, but I love the imagery that they've got, you know, like this one as well. So that is the sort of stuff that I would like to see. They've got these super duper warrior women that are just, they're a little racy, to say the least. Yeah, see, like this is, I love this. That sort of thing is my cup of tea. Now, I would love to stitch something like that, and I haven't found anything. I did look up anime and I looked up League of Legends, and I can't find any of the artwork from that type of thing. And I would love to stitch something like that, but I've just not found it yet. So yeah, I would say number 3, what is one chart you would love to see made? I don't think it's a chart as such. I think it would be League of Legends artwork. I would love to be able to stitch some stuff like that with warrior princesses and glorious looking ladies being strong and determined and yeah, getting in the groove. I could do that. So yeah, okay, there you go, Coffee Stitcher. I said that I would do your tag. It was really hard to sort of think about that really for someone like me, because obviously I've only been stitching 8 months. I haven't got really enough experience to answer some of your questions, but I did the best I could. So that's Coffee Stitchers. My camera looks like it's about to die on me, so I'm rather hoping that I can get through this next one before it actually conks out. So the next one will be the 6 months review tag by D Stitcher. Hey Steve. So my thoughts on the year so far. Is the year going the way you thought? No, it's not. I'm not really quite sure how I thought it was going to go. I thought I was just going to be doing lots of different bits and pieces. And in actual fact, I'm doing like the Mirabilia. Never ever had that in mind. I never thought I'd be going anywhere near a Mirabilia just yet. My Faces project got completed. I didn't even think I was going to complete it. I just sort of went along with it and thought, well, we'll see how far we get. The fact that I'm so in love with stitching, I never knew that was coming this year. So yeah, no, the year isn't going the way that I thought. And the fact that I'm sort of showing interest in things outside of where I thought I would be looking, yeah, no, it's not going as I thought it would. Have you learned anything new about yourself this year? Yes. I've learnt a lot. I've learnt that I can stitch and that I can cross stitch. And I've learnt, you know, don't be so hard on myself. You know, if it doesn't go right, you know, it's a learning curve for me. I'm still in the learning process. So yeah, I've learnt a lot. I've learnt that I'm actually a lot more patient and a lot more chilled than I really realised that I could be or would be. I don't know, I think the list would be too long to try and explain to you the things that I've learnt about myself in this last 8 months journey. You know, the person I was and the person that I thought I was against the person that I am now are two different people. You know, I never would have thought that I'd have the patience, the inclination or the desire to sit indoors and stitch and thoroughly enjoy myself, and I so do. In fact, I prefer my life now than I did when I was racing around like a headless chicken all the time. You know, I think to a certain point I made myself busier than I really needed to be, whereas now I feel so much more calmer and chilled and, you know, just enjoy my own company. I don't need to have other people's company. I'm not shy, I'm not inward, I'm actually really quite a outgoing individual. But although I'm outgoing, I don't actually like to spend a lot of time with people. I do like my own company. I like to spend my time doing some of the things I like to do, and this is the first time really that I've actually been able to do that and be calm and, just go with the flow, just not be racing around like an idiot all the time. Number 3, have you learned any new techniques this year? Yes, I've learned how to stitch. And thank you to Dee, Stitcher, I've also learned how to fudge. Apparently that's a technical term. I've learned how to fudge. Okay, yes, she did give me the ideas of how to fudge and where to fudge, but I've sort of got the concept now. So I sort of get the idea of what you do and how you do. And what else have I learned? I've learned the parking technique. I've learned the loop start method from the front. I've learned a lot. In fact, I've learned all of it. I've learned all of it within 8 months. So, yay me. I've learned it all this year. What do you hope to accomplish for the rest of the year? Okay, so for the rest of the year, I would love to get my mirabilia finished and have her framed and put up on the wall. I would like to think that my Stormy will progress lovely. Not sure that I'll necessarily get him finished. My twisted band sampler, I'd like to think that I could at least get near the end of that by the end of the year. I want some new starts, some littler projects. So I don't know, I think like I've said to you in my last video, I need to sort of start branching out a bit. So maybe some Lizzie Kates, some country cottage needlework designs, bits and pieces. I think actually things might change slightly now that obviously I'm going back to work, because once I'm back to work I'll be commuting, so I can do little projects. So maybe I'll get a few more finishes and smaller designs under my belt, and get a bit more experience of dealing with other types of things, and maybe stuff that's got fractional stitches and half stitches and a bit more back stitch and maybe some French knots. I'm not sure that I'm ready for it just yet. But yeah, initially I think I just need to step outside the box with the actual designers and stitch some smaller stuff and bits and pieces that I haven't really looked at or just haven't got into the groove with yet. So thank you for those questions, Dee. It'll be interesting to see if we all sat and done this same tag in say 12 months time and done a reflection tag of the 6 months tag to work out exactly what we did do and what we didn't do and what we thought we was going to do. I think that would be quite cool. Maybe we should do that, Dee. Should we do a review of your 6 months review tag in say 6 months? Okay, so that's what I've still got a small amount of power left, so maybe we'll get one more in. So this is the Floss tuber tag. Sherry, I'm sorry. I've sort of written it down and I'm not sure I've written it right. So number 1, what apps do you find most helpful for cross stitching? Okay, so the apps I use for my cross stitching, which I've got a whole little selection of them. So I've actually got on my iPhone, I've actually got like a folder for my apps. So the apps that I most use, my Good Notes app, because that's like my little lifesaver. That's where all my charts are. My Dropbox, because that's my backup system in case everything goes disastrously wrong. I've got another app called Xstitch, which is this one just here. Just there. Oh, where's he gone? Oh, he's gone, sorry. This one just here, Xstitch, which is like a journal. If you look at the bottom, you've got like your journal, your threads, your inventory, your shopping list. I love that because it just tells me everything I've got kitted up. It tells me how many threads I've got. It tells me what threads I've got. Yeah, totally love that app. What other app have I got that I like? There is another app that I was using basically for calculator, but it also does the threads, but I've not really been using it very much if I'm honest, and that's this one. It's called Mooliner, and it's got like a colour chart table, so it converts between DMC anchor and Madeira threads. It's got a calculator so that you can calculate your fabrics against your stitch or width. It's got your threads in it so that you can sort of hold all your threads so you can see exactly what threads you've got. So yeah, that's another app that I've sort of been using, but not overly, not amazing amounts. I think that's it really. I have got an hour tracker that I've tried to use, but if I'm honest, I'm not as good with it as I should be. I might start trying to use it because that way I can track how many hours of stitching I'm doing. Number 2, what program do you use to create your videos on FlossTube? Well, I have to admit I'm exactly the same as Carolyn Mazzio. So I use my camera, I upload onto iMovie because I'm a bit of an Apple fan. As you can see, I've got, you know, I've got the iPhone 6, I've got my MacBook, I've got my iPads. So I think we've got 3 iPads in the house, 1 Mac, 4 iPhones, and various other Apple stuff. So yeah, so I use my iMovie because it's so easy to just dump the memory stick into the MacBook, upload the video, do all the editing, turn it into a file, and then upload to YouTube. I've tried using the Quick Player. The quality wasn't very good. I found the editing really difficult. So yeah, no, iMovie, and the fact that with iMovie you don't even really need to find a tutorial or anything like that. You tend to sort of, you can figure it out for yourself. So yeah, I do love my iMovie Maker. I'm sure there's, you know, there's still stuff that I'm learning on iMovie Maker. I haven't quite mastered the art of the videoing. I sort of tend to just do the video, try and edit as little as possible. I really need to sort this camera out to stop it doing that because it just switches off for no apparent reason, and it's quite random. It's not like it does it as a timer. So yeah, so okay, so there's my tags. I don't think there's any tags that I haven't done now. I think I've covered them all. So yeah, there you go. I'm all tagged up. I'm going to be doing another video with my whips. Rather good selection of haul, which is going to be quite varied, and some goody stuff, so some stuff that I need to tell you, which is all good. But I wanted to do that a little bit later on when I've got a bit more progress on my whips and when all of my haul has turned up, because there's bits and pieces of it that I'm still waiting on. So as soon as I'm there and ready, then I will do another update video for you. I'm going to try and start planning things out a little bit better. I've been really quite disorganised, and obviously now that I'm going back into London to work, I'm going to need to become more organised so that I make sure that, you know, everything that I want to put into the videos is in the videos, and maybe get sort of a bit more of a structure going. But again, that's a work in progress. It's the same as everything else in my life. You know, I say I want structure and I like structure. Yeah, I'm probably the most disorganised person when it comes to myself. I'm very organised when it comes to work, and dealing and sort of organising other people. I'm just not very good at organising myself, believe it or not, which is really quite bizarre. Although I do like to be more organised. One thing I needed to share with you while my husband's away, because I think it's important that you see this. You know, when your husbands and your partners moan at you because all your stitchy stuff is all over the place? Check this out, right? Behind me, you will see my little stitchy spot. It's part of my little haul that I'm going to show you later. There's a couple of little gadgets over there. That's my little stitchy spot there. This is what my husband set up last night, because this is what he's doing tomorrow, or today, later on. Do you see the little toy car stuff? That's my living room. And he's got the cheek to moan at me about what is in my what I leave in my living room. Look what he's leaving in my living room. Look at that. It's an outside toy car with a really grotty looking table, and all of his tools in my lovely white living room. What sort of... Let's just not even talk about it, but let's just say I don't really moan at him for doing it, because if I moan at him for doing it, that may actually give him the right to moan at me about my stuff. So currently at the moment, I'm not going to moan about it. But it's quite funny because he'll sit there and I'll sit on my chair, and as you can see, oh, you're going upwards. He's got his corner chair, I've got my corner chair, and we're both doing the things that we love to do. So yeah, I can't complain about that, I don't think. Oh, I'm having a problem with the camera.